Thanks a lot. Hi, good morning, everyone. Great to be here on this very, very prestigious forum. Uh, it was wonderful listening to many eminent speakers. And first of all, we'd like to thank uh, Vivek sir and the entire Pharma Estate team, Dr. Swati and Dr. Satish. Here I'm going to talk about evidence-based marketing, which is pharma brand building through science. And it's essentially, I'm going to tell that story through the story of an iconic Ramipril brand, uh, which is an AC inhibitor, as all of you must be knowing, and it's in cardiovascular space. So we move into that story. But before that, you can see a leaf out there on the screen. It actually represents, whatever we are the reflection of the nature. Whatever is there in the nature is reflected in us. So, so it's both ways. So this leaf is a metaphor for me. When we talk about that, how you become patient centric, I would always say that you think disease, you think organs. So I'm thinking health here, and this leaf is representing one healthy heart for me, which is related to the topic which is there. The views expressed here are that of an individual professor, my own views, and doesn't represent that of my organization. So to start with, I'll share this beautiful quote from David Hume, who said that a wise man proportions his belief to the evidence. And I'm sure each one of you will agree that, we are in an industry, luckily, where we have really wise men, one of the wisest of the world, the doctors. And it has been proven time and again, and this pandemic has only strengthened that fact that yes, at the front lines, the way they have taken care, you can't be more thankful for them and to other who are fighting this war for us on the front lines. So evidence is important for everyone. It's for you also. If there is anything that is proposed to you, you will also ask in terms of what what is there, how what's the proof. So you that evidence part is there, and hence my talk here will be focused on evidence. So as I said, it's a 15-year journey of building an iconic Ramirpur brand through science-based marketing. So I'll share that with you through three lenses here. The launch, which happened in 1994, then the leap happened in 2000, and then the leadership journey that has been there. So how it shows what is the outcome, and all that has been done through science, pure science, absolutely science driven. And that's the story that I'm going to share with you. So let's first of all look at the market. Which market that brand was entering? Well established category. You see, renin-angiotensin system market was already in place, very well established. Accepted molecules were there. Entrenched brands were there. Actually, a crowded market and more than 50 brands. And the indication was also established. Okay. So if you see in this scenario, what you will see that since the market is well established, that's one positive thing. But other than that, you see the level of difficulty of entering into a crowded market. I need not even tell you, most of you are knowing. So what can be done? So first of all, look at what is the problem then. The issue is that how to position and differentiate a new molecule and brand in a well-established and crowded category where molecules and brand are well accepted and firmly entrenched. Okay, So you when such a situation comes, then you have lot of dilemmas also. That you will you like to flow that with the wind, the way it is blowing? Will you capitalize on what has already been built, or you take a path that has not been taken, the uncharted way, and create your own position, create your own niche? So let's see what happened. How did the marketing dilemma to create a winning strategy was resolved? Extensive research and intensive analysis. Friends, I can't overemphasize on these two facts. Please remember, it's very easy to get into some secondary data which is available and arrive at your conclusions, arrive at your strategies and all. Uh, please do look at primary research, look at in a very focused way, look at the perceptions, look at many other aspects, find things yourself firsthand through primary research, do in-depth analysis. And when I say research and analysis, what I'm trying to say, try to understand the behavior archetypes, the attitude and the belief, the perceptual map. See whichever brands which are there, where they are located on the perceptual map in relation to each other, and what is the space which is available for your brand to occupy. Benefit ladder in terms of emotion, function, attributes. Once again, we often get stuck with attributes, but it's you must take the journey to move right up to the emotional level, because that is where the hook is. That's where the stickiness is. That's where you get relatedness, connectedness, and it's every sphere it happens. And hence, as a marketeer, if you are not going there, you are really midway. Sources of growth. What are the leverage points? Do you understand the decision making process of the physician? Do you look at the patient journey, the pain points, or even before that, what are the opportunity flow which is there right from the total patient population to diagnosis to so on and so forth and all? It's a fascinating analysis that you do. I'm sure many of you must be doing it, and then you arrive at that what is going to be my sources of growth, and then go for that. Then eventually drivers and barriers. So you are going to change behaviors. You must know that what is driving the behavior that I'm trying to change in my primary customer, the physicians, and even maybe the secondary consumers as well. I mean, even that journey has already started in many therapies now. So, and what stops that? What is hindering that behavior? So, knowing the drivers and barriers. So, when you have this in-depth research and analysis, then you are really ready to put a winning strategy in place. So, what was done in case of the brand that I am talking? As I said, science-based brand building. So first of all, leverage the scientific evidence which is there. And a wonderful evidence was available in the form of air and air X study which was there, which with the AC inhibitor in question has shown the all-cause mortality reduction. And this was the entirely different story which was there, a risky one. As I said, it is easy to flow with the wave, with the ride the wave, but then going against it, taking a pause and looking at this kind of a situation, this kind of an outcome, this kind of a evidence, and making it as the core of your story. So the scientific evidence was to be leveraged, and then with the help of that, redefine the market. So change the frame of reference from hypertension to CHF and post-MI, LV, and renal dysfunction. Can you see how this entire market was got redefined from that main indication where everybody else was playing, the big player, small player, everybody? It was completely changed from hypertension here to definitely at a higher level in post-MI CHF, right? So that's kind of a redefinition was done. Let's see how it was done. Once again, differentiate with science. If you are taking scientific evidence as your hook, as your lever, then differentiate with science. So what was done? We were not talking hypertension only. We were talking something like cardioprotection, lipophilicity of the brand, tissue renin-angiotensin system. Circulating renin-angiotensin system is what is known, what is getting talked. But we took an entirely different story. of tissue renin-angiotensin system, matrix metalloproteinases, and again the team was prepared thoroughly on this, and a lot of work happened to get this science embedded, and that's kind of a differentiation that was taken. And another thing, a very high end focus was there. So pre-launch, build early advocacy. You take KOLs and top-notch doctors from across the country and start building with them only. So it was completely a top-end story from where the trickle down will happen. Price it at a higher level, because what value you are talking. You're not talking about just uh, BP apparatus looked scenario. You're not talking hypertension. You're taking the story to at this place where definitely you are delivering a value on which you can ask for a price which is justified for that value. You are talking about lives, right, friends? And that's what was here done. Customers, again, as I said, top specialists, interventionalists, and CPs. So the product was not even launched to the general practitioners. Can you see? Which meant the existing team which was there. So there was no additional field force. There was no mega CMEs. There was no like flurry of CMEs and all. Yes, conference participation were there. So it was like truly a high-end kind of a focus which was there, along with differentiating with science. Let's see what happened. In 5 years, the brand got successfully established at the specialist level. So what happened? We did create that niche in a very difficult market. We created a foothold, a position for the brand. Okay, with a positioning which a differentiation which was reflecting of a higher value. And where it is with the specialist, it is with the high end CPs. So you understand that you already created a ground. Now is the time to take the leap. Let's see how once again science came into play. But before that, I would say, if you have to take that leap, when an existing positioning is there, existing way of differentiation is there, you have done a particular way of communication. So how you take from a launch stage, again, I won't say that 5 years were launch stage. Again, it went beyond launch and we did a lot of other things. But if you have to take the brand into a leap stage, then what do? You need to change everything again. And again, what happens that once again, what I shared in terms of the market research, the in-depth analysis, in terms of perceptual mapping, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, and all those aspects, once again came into the play, and then science came. So we essentially changed the way we were looking at the market and the brand once again, right? And once again leverage the scientific evidence. I'm sure many of you will remember Hope study, which was there, one of the most iconic study, one of the most well-known studies, I would say. There are many other very high-end, high iconic and studies are there, but Hope study is something that really came into limelight at that point in time. Once again, in terms of why it came, because it talked about preventive cardiology. Okay, so once again with an outcome where you see p values are 0.001, such excellent outcomes in MI, stroke, or death from cardiovascular. You see, what we are seeing here, that a very valuable evidence came to the marketeer who are managing Cardace at that point in time, and then they decided to leverage this scientific evidence once again to take it to another level to really create that leap. So you remember first what was happening, that we redefined the market. We redefined the market in terms of looking at AC inhibitor slightly differently than how it was being looked at by the physicians at that point, or specialists at that point in time. Now was the time to reposition the brand. So create the niche of prevention in at-risk patients by establishing CV risk and mortality reduction by Ramipril. So can you see, we are talking entirely differently than what we were doing earlier, but it is based on that position which was created. So it's not something drastically different was done. It was something which was related, which was done. And that's how so we virtually ditched the earlier positioning to a great extent to do the repositioning. Once again, differentiate with science. We took scientific evidence, so again differentiate with science. So once again, the talk was in terms of endothelial dysfunction, plaque stabilization, vascular protection. We were talking cardio protection previously. Now vascular protection also got added, rather emphasized with the new way we are looking at the brand now. And it was science all the way. If you talk about, so hope study propagation through large scale symposiums and all conferences was something which was done with absolutely. So it was the hope study, the outcomes, which was not just because it is going to help the brand, it's also because that's the responsibility we have had, the kind of outcomes which were there. What can be better than, bigger than saving lives? And that's what this study was offering. So at Ramipril, Save Lives, promo and CME campaigns, small CMEs, big CMEs, across it was done, established the concept of secondary prevention. Then, even though activities, the kind of things which were done at the clinic level or the hospital level, it was like micro test to ascertain microalbuminuria, which I'm sure many of you know. This is the marker of nephropathy setting in, particularly in diabetics. And it's a marker to tell you that how far somebody has progressed. It's already setting in. So once again, as I'm telling you here, it is about prevention. Numbers needed to treat, calculation, it's something that how many patients you treat to arrive to save one life, kind of it was again a comparative thing which was done with some other existing molecule, but once again it was related to the science. And launch Ramipril 10 milligrams. Friends, can you see I'm talking about the formulation at the end? Because brand was not in the focus, it was the evidence, it was the science which was in the focus. Has it that everybody started prescribing Ramipril 10 mg? No, there were still doubts. But has the AC inhibitor usage gone up? That particular Ramipril usage have gone up? Or has the usage of Ramipril started in secondary prevention? Yes, it did happen. And even 10 mg was getting prescribed by number of specialists and physicians, and it is still getting prescribed, getting stronger. So it is science, all differentiate with science, and science all the way. So let's see how it helps lead. So this is the story, beautiful story, that with the help of air study outcomes, you established a place, and then the hope study came, and you took that hope study to build the brand into an entirely high level of inflection. So first 50 crores came in 10 years. Next 50 crores came in just 5 years time. It became number one brand. 27% market share, one third of our market share in a highly crowded market. And in 2009 also, the growth figures were as high as plus 18% year on year. So can you imagine the kind of impact which was created by science-based marketing? So this is the proof which is there. If we take the story forward, so 2010 to 2020, how you leverage the mother brand that you have built. So you have some roadblocks coming, ARBs are there, NLEM has come. So suddenly, the whole scenario, everybody is talking ARBs, ARBs, and ARBs only. And even now, that noise level is no less. So once again, what happens? Stick to science. Do not go away from science. Reformulate if needed in terms of the formulation itself, tablet, capsule. I'm talking about those aspects. Manage the life cycle well. And that's how. So manage, track preferences. Again, I'm going back to the research and in-depth analysis. That has to be the first thing that needs to be done in marketing. Nothing else is more important. You cannot be in marketing if you are not doing those things. Serve across therapy area continuing, complete value at multiple points you offer to the specialist, and then launch evidence-backed combinations also. And it's not just any other combination. If you have evidence, if you combine and the bioavailability, efficacy, etc., has been proven, then only you launch. But then you launch because that's how you take advantage of, take leverage the mother brand and take it forward. Now here I'm so happy to share with you that in 1994 I was a medical representative, and I received this letter, congratulatory letter from head office. I launched Cardace at that time, and 11th March 1994. I have marked the letter because it's an official letter. We are happy to learn that Mr. Amlesh Ranjan has been able to procure 5,000 capsules order. It is the biggest hospital order that we have backed so far. Please maintain the promotional pressure to firmly establish it as the superior CE inhibitor. Right, friends? A brand manager sends the letter from the head office, and that letter was signed by every single high-ranking leader in the organization at that point in time in the commercial space. Right, friends? You can see the point I'm trying to make here, the connect. And that's important. These things can have ripple effect. Of course, this spurs me on. It spurred me on that time. But that spreads across. That spreads in the team. Right, friends? And here I like to take the name of Mr. BG Parwani, who was the product manager at that time, who launched Cardace in India. And Mr. Parwani is there. I know he has also connected and he is there. So you can't be more thankful to product managers like Mr. Parwani, who really has created what we call a marketing powerhouse, contributed in building a marketing powerhouse that we are. So Mr. Parwani sent this letter, and then it was signed. So you imagine. Now, what was the value of this? 11,500 rupees, I still remember. It was from Indira Gandhi Institute of Cardiology, and 11,000, maybe within a week of the launch, maybe because of the relationship and also the kind of evidence which was there in favor for a cardiologist and the director to really think positively towards the brand. So 11,500 value. So it's 10 years now. You can say 25 years, 26 years of the journey of the brand, science-based brand building. See the outcome. Almost 300 crore brand. Still growing well. Still leading. Still the leading AZ inhibitor. Still fighting that war. Still having that competitiveness spirit with the other molecules, particularly the ARBs which are there. So you see, that's the essence that I'm trying to convey to you, that science-based brand building can really create something of immense value. So it's not about 300 crores. It's about 25 years and still brand is growing. Still you can bring some, ethical and evidence-based combinations. Still you can take the story that you have started 25 years back forward. And that's kind of what Dr. Bhattacharya was mentioning, that brands that last. So this is a beautiful story, science brand building. So I'll just share with you the pharma brand building with all that I have seen and how it looks like. So again, I would re-emphasize research, analysis, insights, science, outcome leading to evidence, segmentation and targeting. Here, segmentation and targeting, I don't mean selecting the customers. Here, I mean that you look at the patient types, you look at, it's more from messaging communication perspective rather than any other, and then what kind of a target messages that you create, and the tools or activities and various aspects that you create around. Then connect, engage, measure. And when I say connect, engage, it is the primary consumers, primary customers, the physician, the secondary consumer, the patients. And yes, you can do that within the regulatory framework. It is very much possible. You must do something in the field of awareness, education, adherence also, but without being a seller in that space. You need to be a contributor in that space. So connect and engage and measure. If you're not tracking, if you're not monitoring that what happened, you have been conveying a particular part about your brand. The customers, the physicians are giving a feedback of some other association with your brand. So it's not really working. And, so when success happens, when failure happens in both the aspects, please check through primary research at the brand place, in the clinics, that what is really getting perceived for your brand. If you are not doing that, then you're not really building the brands that last. So which means, so insights and evidence you take to create the strategy, and tools and measures you take to do the tactical translation. So friends, trust me, I know there are a number of things which are there in which needed to be done. It must be done for proper marketing that needs to be done. And again, I would say the science absolutely should be on top. The evidence, the outcome should be absolutely on top, followed by the research. That's the journey. That's what I see pharma brand building, how it can lead to successful brands. And it's eventually about marketing is the art of creating genuine customers. It's about how you add value, how you create value. Some time back, I was when some speakers were there and they talked in terms, services. We say it's not just one product that you go and give. That's the end of it all. The moment you combine services to the product, then you are creating solutions, and solutions means value to the physicians as well as the patients. So we should be creating, we should be co-creating value, we should be adding value, and that's very important. So it's always about creating and adding value, but always remember, the value you add comes from the values you hold. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Please take care and stay well. That's very important. And feel free to connect with me on my social media account. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.